Hello, everybody. Hope you're all doing fantastically well. It is Connor. Shout out Jay. Not usually early this time in the morning. Glad I've managed one of these. Good morning, everyone. Please, everyone, please lead sign someone soon. Yeah, I'm there, mate. Brett, shout out to you, buddy. JC in the building. Hi, Jay. Richard Roth says, good morning, Connor. Getting fed up with rumours. Why can't we just get it done? Yeah, mate. Morning, Adam. Hope school's all right for you today, mate. I remember the days. Sometimes it'd just be a bit arduous, wouldn't it? Sometimes be a bit arduous. Connor in the kitchen for the first time. Indeed, mate. I've had to record this a little bit earlier. Hiya, Matt. Than normal. We actually have a recording with your favourite Norwich fan, Chris Reeve, coming up at 9:30, everybody. So stay tuned for that. Something else a little bit exciting today as well that I'm really looking forward to that I'm going to bring you guys. But listen, before we have to do all the admin stuff, don't we? Patreon episodes available already this week on your audio platforms. We've had 4 new people join this week. Shout out to Chris and shout out to Pat who joined yesterday. Well worth it, everyone. You can join YouTube memberships as well. You can see all our fantastic members in the chat now as well, everybody. Do me a favour, hit the link in the description below. It's my affiliate link for SofaScore, who I've partnered with to bring to you guys. We're going to bring more offers later on down the line. You hit that link completely free and it just keeps you updated with all of the Leeds score. It's an alternative to all of your apps, which is fantastic. Helps me with analytics, and I emailed them literally, specifically, so I could partner with them, and I'm buzzing that they've taken that on board. So to help me out, guys, please make sure you smash the link. Download SofaScore, absolutely free, and it just means that we can keep them as a sponsor on the channel, which is great stuff. Morning, Connor. Yeah, a lot of people talking about the game tomorrow. It was moved from Saturday, which is just classic. Good morning, Connor. Always great to catch you live. Hi, Kim, another member in the channel here. I hope some actual transfers. Although, morning, Mr. P. Good morning, you beautiful Leeds fans. Hey, Paul. Hi, Lofts. Your clock's wrong, Connor. I know, mate. It's not been working for a while. Good morning, Connor. How you, Plymouth? Hope you're all good. Morning, Connor from Sunshine, Auckland. Oh, Auckland. It's miserable, rainy, and awful here. So I'm very, very jealous. Okay, we've got our coffee. What's your poison this evening, this morning, wherever you are, everybody? So let's get into it anyway. I want to first of all touch on the game last night. I don't know if any of you caught it. Presumably you will have done. Ipswich against Leicester. Now this was a massive game, and I want to get your thoughts, everybody. I want to get your thoughts in terms of what your perception of the game was. Did you think that it was a good point for Leeds? Leeds, and I believe it is 5 points off Ipswich, which is interesting in itself. But the game was nuts, and for me yesterday, you are seeing why, if Leeds get their SHIT together in certain games which me and you and others and everybody in the general world know we should be winning, we can catch the top 2. Okay, now, out of context, Connor, you were saying the other day there's no chance. There's no chance we can do that. Now, I'm still firmly of the belief that, unfortunately, I think Leeds are going to be a little bit more inconsistent, which is going to give these other teams hope and is going to make them, believe that this advantage is something that they can sustain. And maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I need to see a different Leeds United where some of the teams that we're not expected to beat, we beat. Away from home, we're more consistent. We're able to build up more momentum. Yesterday, I am watching these two teams and I'm thinking, at our pomp, and it's been evidenced by results against both of them, that we are better. We're a better footballing team when we're at our pomp, 100%. It's not just evidenced by that game. I try and watch Leicester as much as I can, because I'm just like, how are we so far off this lot? How are we so, you can look at the metrics, you can look at the quantitative numbers and stuff, the numerical basis of a football league, and you can look at Leicester and look at Leeds and think, Jesus, they're far apart. Wow, there's a difference in class. There just isn't. I'm watching Ipswich and I'm like, how are we where we are? When we can play like we can play against, Ipswich, and we can play like we can against Cardiff and Huddersfield, and those games where Leeds are just scintillating. You can't get near us. Well, the difference is we have games in us like Rotherham, Stoke, Sunderland, Coventry. So if Leeds are in this second half of the season where we have very good games when it comes to our away games, we barely face any top teams in this division, away from home. It's not happening. They're all coming to Ellen Road. If you take that into context, the whole pie, we've got to give them a good run for the money here. I was watching that game last night and I was looking at Leicester in the first half. They were a little bit zippy. They were decent. Ipswich were just standing off them. Easy, making it easy for Leicester. And Leicester cut through them at will. Should have been more than one goal. But, you apply a bit of pressure to them. You go your high line, which we did against them. You press them. You press the keeper, which you didn't like against us. You press the centre-backs, which way they don't like, Faze and Vestergaard. You funnel the ball out wide. And I just felt Ipswich got the tactics all wrong. And then the second half was hilarious. It was a game of two halves. Leicester then just sat off. And then Ipswich started to press high. And they did what Leeds did for the full game against Leicester. And they started to get joy. But it's staggering for me. You look at those two teams last night and I was like, Jesus. I mean, I've mentioned on here before that the Burnley last season, when I watched Burnley, they were brilliant. They were a brilliant footballing team to watch. And listen, it doesn't matter. Points are all that matters in the Championship. Points are all that matters. But I look at those two and I think we're not far off them. And I don't think we are. In fact, I don't think we're far off them whatsoever. Unfortunately, points tally-wise, we're still a distance from Leicester. But the good thing about that game last night is it meant that we're still in relative contact with Leicester and Ipswich have dropped 2 points. We win tomorrow is 2 points. 2 points. Then it's up to us. Then it's up to our consistency. Then it's up to, are we going to drop points at QPR away, Watford away, Bristol City away, or are we going to be consistent? And are we going to absolutely rail in this last sort of 3 or 4 months, which we've got the capabilities of doing? But I'm telling you, Leeds need to step up because this two are catchable. They're not miles ahead of us whatsoever. They shouldn't be anyway. Let's have a look at some of your comments. Interesting early start to the morning. Southampton haven't lost in months. Ipswich drew and Southampton lost. Lofts in the building, as we know. I think we can do, but I don't think we do. Jay in the building. Hi, Jay. It's weird. The Norwich match moved forward. I'm not normally back like they are, but Ellen Road under the lights, exactly. Yeah, loads of you in the building. And for the Rumour, of course. We go second if we win tomorrow and next Friday, mate. Exactly, Daryl. We should be cautious of Gnonto's new contract. We're going to get into that, Jack. There'll be that he will have a low release clause in there. Otherwise, why else would he sign? You completely bang on. And he says, good point for us, I believe. We need to improve away from home against a lower team. Southampton are due to stuff soon. Same here, Connor. We will be inconsistent. That will screw us. Yes, we are better than all the other teams. They were both rubbish, mate. I thought the same. Leicester fans booing. I mean, that's ridiculous, isn't it, Gil? Booing at full time. You're 14 points clear or whatever you are of us anyway. Unbelievable. Top two is very much on, says Jay. I said at the start of the season it will be between Leeds and Southampton, top two, and I'm sticking with it. Watch Leicester and Ipswich drop off. Ooh, interesting. You're forgetting about Southampton. We win 15 out of our next 18, says Graham. We will go up. Problem is, are we too inconsistent? A leopard can quickly change his spots. Not sure. Can a leopard quickly change his spots? I'm not sure. I think if we win tomorrow, we go 2 points behind. I think Ipswich will start to panic and make mistakes. And this is it. It's consistency and Leeds don't go together. And that's it, Brett. I think if we start to see this change when it comes to Leeds and these away games, I think home we're going to be fine. But what I will say, and we're going to have more Norwich stuff out for you later on through the day, everybody, so check in with one Leeds. Tomorrow's not going to be easy. We know whenever we've played Norwich in the past 5, 6, 7 years, it is never easy. And they've started turning a little bit of a corner, Norwich. Really good win for them the weekend. Dominant. I mean, listen, the stats don't show it, but watch the spoke to a couple of guys behind the scene. You guys know that I've got very, very good friends who are Norwich fans, probably my best friends in the network, to be honest with you, on YouTube. They said that was their performance of the season, and it's been building to that. Josh Sargent's available now. Johnny Rowe is on form. He's firing, scoring wonder goals. They're really building at this moment in time. Really, really building, which I think has been almost simultaneously from that result that I got against Ipswich. But it is, Darryl, it's time to make a statement. It is time to make a statement. And I think there's two ways of looking at this. There's time to make a statement in terms of a signing, and there's time to make a statement on top of on the pitch as well, on top of proceedings. So, but they've got an opportunity tomorrow, and we've seen it before. We've seen this before where Leeds have maybe let these opportunities go when Ipswich have slipped, haven't we, throughout the season. They've got to make tomorrow count. They've got to. And I'm not having excuses. Norwich are 8th, Leeds are 4th. Leeds are the better team, okay? No excuses. Opportunity tomorrow, we have to take it. Simple. Can't be relying on other teams. Leeds have got to look after themselves. No complacency. Let's go and get the win. Anyway, there'll be more on that a little bit later on, everybody. You can see in the title, Hull City versus Leeds United for transfer battle. Yes, that is very, very true. Not only are Hull City looking at Manuel Benson, but it looks like they're going to be beaten out of the race by Southampton, who have that right wing spot available for somebody. Looks like Manuel Benson is going to be that man. Let me just say as well, last night, everybody, those who were saying signings don't matter, I thought yesterday when Sarmiento came on for Ipswich, everything changed. And obviously he got his goal as well. That was a little bit of Premier League class there, I thought, when he came on the pitch, occupying the cam role, occupying that winger role. Sarmiento was very, very good for Ipswich. That's what a new body can do in January. It can elevate the side when his presence is made on the pitch. So, yeah, I thought he did really, really well yesterday. That's what Leeds can get. And that's what I'm a little bit worried about when it comes to Southampton and that punch up top that they're going to get with someone like Manuel Benson. Benson, 11 goals, 5 assists. We did a little profile on him about 2 weeks ago on the channel. 5 assists in the channel. You bring him in January. That, everybody, emphasising that word, that 4-letter word, is a massive signing in this window. And that is a game changer. So Leeds need to respond. We need to be proactive anyway, but we need to be reactive as well to other signings. And just the general premise of improving the level of our squad. Now, Ryan Giles, the big name on everybody's lips over the last couple of days. Are Leeds going to do anything? We know he's available. He's there. He's ready to come and play championship football. It's essentially been led out by Luton anyway. There, with Amari Bell there, with Dan Potts there. They need a little bit of exposure when it comes to another left-back in their side, Ryan Giles, who's barely getting any minutes. Now, the counter-argument is, well, Connor, he's not getting any minutes, so is he going to fit into a promotion side, Leeds United? That is a good question. His fitness, I believe, will what you'd expect as a professional footballer to be at the elite level. If he's ready to move out on loan to a championship side, you'd hope as well that professionalism is there and he's able to just get himself in good nick. And I'm sure he is in good nick for immediate football. Leeds might have to almost mould him into the games a little bit and the system, like we kind of had to do. We've had to do. Really, with pretty much all of our signings, barring Ethan Ampadu. But Hull City are now apparently at the front of the queue when it comes to Ryan Giles. They are offering him minutes. They are offering him a package where he will be starting week in, week out. And according to the latest odds, he is now odds on, I should say. It's early in the morning, let me off. Odds on to go to Hull City. Morning all, hi Leeds, Calypso. Mad at times getting it though. Junior was the player of the match for me. Now, if you're Leeds United, and we spoke about this on the podcast yesterday across the pond on the Patreon, I'm going to Ryan Giles and saying, you, sir, are the starting left back. You've got competition. That's why you have to elevate your game. It's really difficult at this moment in time because FIRPO's doing well. And I'd probably say to Ryan Giles, it's your shirt to lose, but you're going to have to work your way into it a little bit as well. You're the number one left back, but you have to work your way into it because Junior's doing well. And you're just there, just on the cusp if FIRPO gets injured, which we probably know is going to happen. We hope, touch wood, that's not going to happen. The performances are going to continue, but data, patterns, trends, all that stuff we work on this channel. Junior FIRPO at some point, as we've said with Sam Byron multiple times, is going to go down with some sort of injury. So, you say to Ryan Giles, surely, from a business perspective, you're number one. Ryan Giles, very, very dependable in the Championship last season, if you look at his statistics. And, very, very good as well, alongside Ryan Manning in terms of the best left-backs in the division last season. So it's how Leeds offer themselves to him. Are we going like we did with Fabio Carvalho, who went to Hull, chose Hull over Leeds United? Fair play. I understand that one a little bit. Are Leeds going to the player and saying, okay, well, you got competition. You're not going to get that starting position, but you can work your way in there. Because Hull are going to turn around and say, you've got it already, mate, as they did with Carvalho. So this is the problem phase Leeds are at right now. Are they turning around and saying, well, FIRPO's our number one, Byram's our number two, but you're competing? Because he's doing that at Premier League level anyway. He's got Amari Bell and Dan Potts ahead of him. So why would he come to Leeds? Once again, this is the whole conversation that we've had about Fabio Carvalho. Why would he come to Leeds? And I get it. I completely get it from the player's perspective. Take the white tinted glasses off, the blue, white and yellow tinted glasses off. From Ryan Giles' perspective, why would you come to Leeds if you're getting no minutes? You're not increasing his portfolio, as I always say on this channel. He's going on loan to a side who are getting him as much exposure as he'd be getting at Hull City, at Luton Town, I should say. That's true, Gil. That is true. But he needs minutes. That's the reason he's going out on loan. Luton Town, at this moment in time, are better than Leeds United. Why would he move to Leeds United if he just sat on the bench because Junior FIRPO's getting ahead of him, then Sam Byram's getting ahead of him? This is the problem, I think, with a lot of it. If we're not assuring these players game time, then they're not going to move to Leeds. We saw that with Carvalho when Leeds were in the race. I think we've seen that with Benson as well, Manuel Benson, who, in my opinion, will move to Southampton. What do we do? Morning, Connor. Hi, Sujal. Could you give a shout out to my my Mrs. Kosher? It's her birthday today. She would be thrilled. Pity, she's a Liverpool fan. Sorry if I've got a name. Or is it Kosher or Kosher? Apologies, mate. Shout out to you, Mrs. Sujal, Mrs. Desai. Shout out to you, Kosher or Kosher. Apologies for that if I butchered your name. But happy birthday. Happy birthday. Morning, pal. Hey, Brad. We've had FIRPO for years. He's constantly been rubbish. Recent form, just a blip, and he's constantly broken. Yeah, Giles would be a great sign to put pressure on FIRPO. We'll see him for. This is the thing. Hi, Simon. Shout out to you. But yeah, I just think it's one of those scenarios with Leeds United where they've got to be really, really firm when it comes to that. Otherwise, we just will not get him. And that's unfortunately the scenario with this one. So yeah, that's the slight issue with Ryan Giles this morning, and just Leeds United in general when they're offering loans. Listen, you've got to offer minutes, you've got to offer game time. We all know that the title is FIRPO good enough? Is FIRPO good enough to keep someone like Ryan Giles out of the side? Does FIRPO provide us with balance? Yes, he certainly does. He certainly does. But can we rely on him week in, week out? That is my question. Can we rely on him? And if we can, fabulous. But Leeds are taking a chance again, and we've seen window after window after window after window when we've not got the certain profiles that we need, striker, left back, central midfielder in previous windows. We've taken a chance, and a lot of it has backfired. What we don't want is Leeds to go into February and to then pick up the injuries and then to go, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Now we've got FIRPO out, Byram's out, which Byram's just a walking injury, hence why no other club apart from us were after him. And you've got options in this window. Left back is not as difficult as going out and getting a striker and a cam. It's just not. The defensive structure can be improved this window, especially with 3 loan positions. As I've said previously as well, every other team has improved. You saw last night what a new signing can do. We're in the top of the table clash in terms of Ipswich and Leicester. Obviously, Sarmiento getting on the score sheet, making a massive difference. That's what can happen. Willie Gnonto. Let's get on to that. Mental. Now, it was mentioned previously in the video, and I sort of agree with this in terms of Willie. So if I don't get this, if from his perspective, why? Why would you sign a new contract? Now, the report states that Leeds are about to offer him a new deal, not that he signed a new deal. So I don't know how we get that one done. I believe we will get that done. It looks like it's quite far on down the line and Leeds are ready to offer him a new contract. But there's got to be something in there. And does that then get Leeds off the Benson trail when it comes to the club? Have Leeds behind the scenes been fighting it out for Manuel Benson? There's been reports saying that we've been leading the race. Now Southampton are leading the race. Then it was Leeds leading the race. Now it's Southampton leading the race. Seems to be back and forward. And this is what happens when you've got these very decent players who are not getting minutes Premier League level. The top Championship sides will be battling with each other. Us, Leicester, Southampton, Ipswich will all be battling with each other. So have they lost out on Benson? Because apparently, according to several reports, including the mainstream, we've been very, very interested. So they've clearly thought that's a target. Have they now just offered Willie Gnonto a contract to almost supplement that and sort of go against that because they've not been able to get Manuel Benson? Now, you'd hope not, because offering a player like Willie Gnonto a contract is a very long-term option, and hopefully it's not reactionary. But you do wonder, if they've gone for Manuel Benson, why on earth are they giving Willie Gnonto a new contract? Why? Unless Leeds can get more money for him. You know, improved deal, that's what we read as well. Leeds are set to offer him an improved deal. There has to be a release clause in there. There has to be, for him to sign that deal. Because for me, there is no reason, if I'm Willie Gnonto and I'm playing under Daniel Farke right now and he's given me no minutes whatsoever, when you're looking at the grand picture of this season so far, there is no way, if I'm looking at my career, I'm signing a contract for Leeds United. There's just no way. So I don't understand why he would. Obviously, he'll be offered more money, you'd think. More money. But is that just a sort of go against the fact that Leeds are not signing Manuel Benson, and they're now doing this as sort of a thing where it's like, oh, well, we need to enhance our offensive options and keep our offensive options now we're losing on Benson, because they have been interested. We know that. I know that. So yeah, interesting. It's a Ryan. Every video, mate. Every single video. Don't know what this guy, man. He hates me. Yeah, I don't know why you tune in, Ryan, mate. I really don't. Yeah, every comment, mate. Thought your mate said he's off to West Ham. A, he's not my mate. He's a journalist. B, there's West Ham were in for him. West Ham were in for him. Just to clarify that. That is a fact. But their interest is quelled. My mate, several times, has also mentioned the fact that they need something to move on Saeed Benrahma. So open those logos, Ryan, and listen to the actual content, fella. I can honestly see us not getting anyone. Yeah, it could be right, mate. As we've seen before many times, our players start performing up to the window, then the manager decides we don't need to sign anyone, the performances drop off. Lord J. Coyle says, I think we might get a loan, but no permanent transfers. Yeah, I agree with you there, Jay. It might be a simple situation of him having a favourable clause in his new contract that gives him an easy exit. Yeah, I thought the exact same, Connor. How are we so far behind him? Exactly, mate. Non-promotion clause for Gnonto. You could be right there, Tenacious D. Could be bang on there, actually, mate. If Gnonto can get going and lift now after a new deal, that could be pretty much a new signing. Yeah, Stephen, you bang on. You bang on. In terms of who are you offering me right now, Willie Gnonto or Benson? Now, they are different. I will say that. They are different players. Obviously, Benson is very much of the Iron Robins, if you want a profile. Gnonto is a direct winger who attracts many fullbacks, wingers, central midfielders to mark him out the game. He's a very, very exciting option, Willie Gnonto. He's an international. I believe he's younger than Manuel Benson as well. Could be wrong on that one. But overall, he's a fantastic, fantastic player. Willie Gnonto. I'd want Gnonto in the Premier League. So you are right, Stephen. Do you give him, overall, Manuel Benson has been deemed surplus to requirements by Vincent Kompany in the Premier League. Is he a Premier League option? I personally don't know, because I've not seen him in the Premier League. But according to many, he isn't. Willie Gnonto, for me, is a Premier League option. He's young, he's developing. Under certain managers, he's going to improve. I agree with you, Stephen. I completely agree with you. If you're offering me Gnonto or Benson, I've said it on a tweet, I'm taking Gnonto all day long right now. I really am. It just makes you think, as a fan base, have we missed out on Benson because we were after him? He can play on that right-hand side, as does Willie Gnonto. And then they've offered him a new contract because they were in for Benson. We all know that. And that's, confirmed by many journalists. Leeds also very, very keen. One of yesterday as well. So it's one of those. But yes, you bang on right. I think the target this window has to be defensive reinforcements. Surely. No, shout out right. I've seen just a few comments before, mate, and I do wonder. As I say, I do wonder. Fair enough, mate. Fair enough. I've just seen a few comments from you before, and I've thought, so yeah, as I say, mate, I'm not. Listen, it's nothing on that basis, mate. If it's a variance of opinion, of course it isn't. But I'm pretty sure I've seen you before put a few certain comments. I thought exactly the same, Connor. How are we so far behind them? Gnonto, maybe a set out fee is the new contract. He could be right, buddy. He could be right. I'd go get Benson just a week in Southampton. Yeah, do the old Chris Wood tactic. The old Chris Wood tactic that Newcastle did with Burnley. Good shout out. Appreciate the info you get. There's a lot of it's just opinion, mate. I've always said that from the start. It's the rumour mill. The basis of this conversation between me and you guys is conversation. It's discussion. It's debate. It's not. I'm not bringing you confirmed deals. It's a lot of it is just talk, natter. So yeah. Spreading your fake news, Stephen. What I think also plays a part is Gnonto is clearly very loved up with the other attackers in the system. Somerville, if you start ticking, that could be electric, dynamite. Even looks like we ain't getting anyone. Hull says Nakata is cleverly strengthening for the playoffs with Fabio. Don't know why we can't get these players into our squad to bolster our performance to be a top tier club based on performance and not paper. The thing is, Nakata. What I would say is it's like I've said before, and like Stephen's quite rightly said, Gnonto's a very, very, very good option, an exceptional option at this level. I think really what we need to be discussing is left backs and full backs here. No late on this morning. Hey, Gaz. New. I love the clock in your kitchen. Yeah, it's nice and wrong. It's 7:30 at night apparently. Morning all, late on this morning. Gaz, another member on the Patreon as well. Shout out to you, Gaz. Hope you're enjoying it, mate. The Harlem Show says maybe we can only afford Rodon, so looks like we're doing nothing but hopefully get Rodon. Yeah, Rodon would be a lovely signing, wouldn't it? Shame Ipswich getting a draw last night just means we can't afford to lose more on in. Yeah. On a separate note, I honestly don't know how Leicester are so far clear of everyone in the league. Every time I've watched them, they're so ordinary. I agree. Leeds United, Calypso, you bang on the money. We're approaching 30 minutes, guys. Before we leave, as a favour for one Leeds, and listen, it's great for you because you know what I do a lot of the analysis on when it comes to post-match, when it comes to looking at momentum bars, analysis. You'll have seen it on the video last night. I partnered with SofaScore. I've emailed SofaScore because I use them all the bloody time. Affiliate link in the description below. Just download it. Absolutely free. Absolutely free of charge. Better than LiveScore. Better than your BBC apps. This has actual analysis, data spreadsheets in there, little pieces which you'll love and enjoy. There's an affiliate link in the description below. Just click the link, free download, and it's well worth it. It's what I keep track of all my football games. I'm going to be tracking the Norwich game with it last night, seeing that momentum bar, seeing if Leeds deserve to be in the lead and all this sort of stuff. And I use that as a framework to come on here and talk to you guys as well. So make sure you do so. It's well worth it. Patreon as well. 4, 5, 6, 7 million episodes per week now. We've had 5 extra episodes per week. YouTube membership will be doing a reaction as well to Farke's press conference. Guys, we've got a preview coming with a certain Norwich fan who's been on the channel earlier on as well, and I'm sure you'll enjoy that. But thank you so much for your support. Really appreciate it. Ryan, I'm looking at you as well, mate. I appreciate that, of course. Yeah, everyone, have a good one. I'll see you in a bit. Cheers.